Bake with bake, bake with bake. Season 4, season 4. Let's go, let's go. Here we go, Debate with Bake Sports Show. Season 4, live at Mo City Radio. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We just giving opinions, supporting it with proof. Let's look at the stats, cause numbers tell the truth. It ain't no hating, we just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Shout out to Prize Picks for the daily fantasy. Invest a few dollars, let's do some gambling. C-Bake got the topics and he keep it cracking. Laro got the commentary and he never lacking. Cole with the game, he live from the Big Apple. You know, Mo Serious Entertainment made it happen. Another sports show, we live from the Mo. Debate with Bake, season 4, let's go.
What up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Debate with Bake podcast, brought to you by Mo Serious Entertainment at MoSerious.com. I am your host, C-Bake, aka Debate with Bake. We back at it, man. Season 4, episode 3. Check us out on MoSerious.com. Hit that like and subscribe, man. We back in it to talk about sports, and we got a lot going on in the sports world, man. So we're gonna get right into it, man. And we're going to get it going. We're going to get it going, and we welcome everybody. If they joining in, you can get in on the chat. You can, put your comments in, and we'll respond to you. But we back in the house again, man, and we ready to get into it, man. And sitting over here to my left, man, is my co-host, Laro Roski. What's going on, bro?
What's going down, man? It's good to be here.
Always good to see you, man. And then, shout out to Cole, man. He couldn't make it tonight, so we got a strictly H-Town show tonight. Debate with Bake live from Mo City. Chuck, what's going on, man? Good to see you, the man.
Yes,
with
sir,
the plan. We back in it. Live Debate with Bake. And here we are, man. It's good to see y'all, man. We got a lot going on in sports, man. There's so much going on, man. We could actually do like a 3-hour show tonight. I mean, of course, the Super Bowl victory we seen with Philadelphia did to Kansas City, man. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to my man AG, man. That's my boy from school, man. One of my best friends, man. They celebrating. Congratulations, Philadelphia, man. I'm so happy for y'all. In particular, I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. I'm kind of sad about my man D-Hop, but it's all good, D-Hop, man. Go on back and try to get you another one. I think Kansas City can still put it together. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into the topic. The first topic that's on the list, man, and make sure everybody hit that like and subscribe and go on MoSerious.com. But let's get into it, man. It's been talks across the NFL world. Of course, we got the draft coming up, of course, free agency. But one of the bigger things is that hit the national airways is that the New York Jets have made it very, very clear that they're moving on from Aaron Rodgers. They're saying that they're done with him and they just want to go another direction. It didn't seem like, publicly, at this point, there's no bad blood. It's just been a decision to move on from Aaron Rodgers. So my question to the panel today is, what uniform do you want to see Aaron Rodgers wearing next season? Where do you think he fits? And tell us why you think he fits over there. So, Ro, what you think, man? You got Rodgers. He's 40-plus years old. Looks like he's still got a little bit of gas in the tank. The whole New York experiment just failed. I think personally it's probably a little bit on the Jets and Rodgers himself. Of course, the first season, the fluke, was it Achilles tear? Like the first or second play. And then he comes back and the whole team the Jets just didn't look good. I wish we had Cole on to talk about that. But what do you think? Where do you think Rodgers should go? What team should be looking at him?
Well, I mean, on the current track, I say I'm pulling to see history repeat itself, and I want to see what the over and under is on a Minnesota reunion at this particular point, which doesn't make sense. It sounds absurd, I know, just because of Darnold's success. But, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Aaron tried to repeat in the footsteps of his big brother, Brett. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, he's been a Packer quarterback. He's been a Jet quarterback. might as well go on for the trifecta, get you a Minnesota ring too. You know, well, not a ring, Minnesota. Don't get wrong. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But, maybe outside of that, you know what I'm saying? A McDonald's uniform. I don't know. We talking about in the NFL. I just don't see a lot of places with his particular predicaments. You're right. He's got something in the tank. It's not about him being washed. It's just about.
So let me ask y'all this: y'all think wherever he go, he's coming off the bench?
Nah.
Think he gonna go start somewhere?
Yeah. And to Ro's point, and I'm gonna get back to you, Ro. I think Ro. I was thinking that along the lines. Now, I wasn't necessarily thinking about Minnesota, but I'm thinking about the type of team Minnesota has. They have everything in place. Now, the only reason why I disagree with Minnesota is that I think Darnold did a great job this past year. So you want to, but I agree with Ro in the sense that a team that has everything in place, because that's what the Jets were supposedly had when they brought him over there. I think you have to have everything in place, and that's all you need. I'll err on the side of caution in terms of along the same lines of Minnesota, Chuck. I would say Detroit. Maybe Detroit. Maybe they not necessarily because they were talking about
over the hump with Goff.
Right. If they can't get over the hump with Goff, or even speaking of Goff, maybe somebody like the Rams, because they were dissatisfied with who's down there. Remember they switched Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they
Stafford
right. And the Rams, who surprised me this year, I mean, they got to the second round and just got blown out by Philadelphia. But the Rams, that might be a good spot. It's somewhere where there's a strong defense and there's an offense that needs a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like jokingly, I was like, the right situation just don't want him. It's like if he in a dream matchup, if he could get behind that Philadelphia offensive line, that would be dynamic for him. He might be able to ride off in the sunset with another one if that was the case. But those type of situations aren't knocking down his door right now.
Right.
Maybe Miami.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Minnesota, Miami, Detroit, the Rams. Anybody I think that has a ready set team, stacked on defense, stacked on offense, but just need a quarterback. And you got to wonder with Miami, that's an excellent one. You got to wonder how long they're going to stick behind Tua. But then if you bring Rodgers in, because the problem with Tua is health, you know what I'm saying? And you can't predict that.
I was stretched to say, and it's, Cole going to be unhappy he wasn't here to do his balk at this, but it's like, I guess San Francisco doesn't have as much in place, but Purdy hadn't done much to keep the job, in my personal opinion.
I agree with that.
So it's like, look, you're a better player away, depending on how you look at your run. This is pre-Debo trade request, you know what I'm saying? But
that's another good spot.
It could work. I mean, that's a nice quarterback.
My biggest challenge, right, is because the Jets were good. Right, and he was supposed to be the pick, and so all these teams, Minnesota, Frisco, it's the same thing, bro. They all
he
good.
Became cancer. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's like, are y'all looking at him in Las Vegas for real? Like,
well, let's not underestimate. And I know y'all. I mean, it's a good
he
point.
had to kill the locker room.
I can't just blame him. Like the whole scope of it, I feel like the Jets are cursed. Shout out to Cole because Cole said that. It was obviously more going on there than him. I think he was a big part of it, but it's just a lot of things. I think the Jets just need to completely start over.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland. The Jets in Cleveland.
Right. I'm going to say I'll give Rodgers an out in the sense that just because the Jets have been so dysfunctional, I'm going to say it wasn't all his fault. Do I think he had a larger stake in that dysfunction over there? Possibly.
What about Dallas?
Yeah, but
didn't they just re-sign?
But is Dallas really a complete team? Because we know defensively, defensively,
Michael Parsons tell it.
Dak and Mike can tell it. They're a couple of bounces away.
Yeah.
And Jerry tell it.
And Cowboy fans, period. They just tell you we want. I mean that might not be bad. That might not be bad either. But the thing about it is this. I mean, they don't offensively, other than CD. They don't have. They got to build some more pieces on offense.
Yeah, they're not running the ball well.
Yeah.
Dallas is a lot of players away. They're not running
Yeah,
away.
exactly. Now, when you talk about what you said, San Francisco, Minnesota, Miami, Detroit, the Rams,
Jacksonville.
they a train wreck. I think they got to do
right.
too
They
much.
got a lot.
I just think they got to do too much.
They got a lot.
Yeah. I think those teams that we named, I'm trying to think of anybody else that would be one player away.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but Cole would be mad at you.
Yeah, he'd be hot.
Baker.
Cole would be
Yeah,
like
he think-
Baker.
I wouldn't take Aaron over Baker right now either.
Oh, Chuck, why you got to put the quarter in my back, man? Golly, man. I don't want to get into that, man. I just don't see what y'all see in that dude. But to his credit,
Over Aaron Rodgers though, like with this past season.
yeah, but it wasn't. I don't completely. It's the Jets, man. The Jets
don't know,
are
'cause
the
A-
Jets
A-Rod-
are the complete
Jets
team.
A-Rod got that Watson resume, man. It's like I don't know. A-Rod, what
Come
have
on
you
now.
done for me lately?
A-Rod, career wise, A-Rod is way better. But I mean, you got a point, maybe lately, but I still think he got some gas in the tank. I just think the Jets just fell apart, man. Like now, again, throw him down into Miami, see what happens. Because if you can't do it down there with the Tyreek and a Waddle, then you need to retire.
What them Giants doing?
Nah, they too dysfunctional. They worse than Jacksonville.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And winning just enough.
H-Town dude said, man, Jerry is got all his eggs on Dak. He ain't letting
He
it.
got to.
Yeah.
He got to because he paid him all that money.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So he got to. They got to put some more pieces around Dak though. But yeah, I think we cool with the teams though. I like Minnesota. I just think Darnold did a good enough job to earn. And then they still got the kid down that they drafted. They got hurt.
McCarthy.
Yeah, they still want to find out about that because he's still in
Yeah.
that rookie deal.
You're right about that.
You know what I'm saying? So that they may not have a place, but I can understand what you're saying as far as I think Minnesota is, one or two players away. But we'll see, man. I mean, I think Rodgers can still play just because I believe in his talent. But I don't know, man. I can't really oppose when people say, man, I mean, he did everything in New York, but they all fell apart to me. I mean, I don't know. We'll see, but it's got to be. I think we all agree it's got to be a team that's stacked. It can't be a team where he's got to be like the primary playmaker. If you're doing that, you asking for failure.
Yeah, he's in his Brad Johnson years.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh, man, not the Tampa Bay Brad Johnson, not the game manager Brad Johnson with the Super Bowl roster.
He's in his Trent Dilfer Brad Johnson.
Game manager.
Yeah, You're not
I
getting
think
it
he's a
on.
little bit better than that, man. Shout out to my man, Ro Brad Johnson. Oh man, I'll tell you another place. Nah, it ain't gonna work. But if it ain't gonna, it's not gonna work because I don't think this coach Rodgers got a lot of diva in him.
Yeah.
If Russ leaves Pittsburgh, do they let Justin step in, or do you take a look at Aaron Rodgers?
You gotta let Justin step in.
Yeah.
You think so?
He
You
was
do.
proven before you took him out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tomlin had it, but around the corner, Tomlin, stop, get in there, tighten up.
Yeah.
Tomlin being there.
But do you at least bring Rodgers in?
No,
You don't,
No, 'cause
you
you
got to
didn't-
rob the young.
you
player.
already-
I think I'm done with
because
Rodgers.
it's like, you know
I
what
like
it is.
Kirk Cousins over Rodgers.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
What you mean?
Nah. Kirk Cousins had a terrible season in Atlanta. I think him and Rodgers was about the same.
They were,
They about the same.
but Kirk younger. I mean, I'm saying I take Kirk. I take Kirk too.
Yeah, I think y'all sleep.
I take it.
I
We
think-
in the league of we in the Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels league now. Ain't no place for them guys, man. They can't win. They can't beat guys. They can't beat. He's not comparable to the top quarterbacks in either conference right now, like at all, by far.
I mean,
I'm saying-
I mean, there's a lot of them emerging. There's a lot of them emerging.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that but unless it's in the quarterback coach side of it, and he coaching your quarterback room, you don't even need his skill set. You know what I'm saying? You really don't.
He still can run and throw. I don't know. Y'all might be right though. All right, Chuck, you want to do some fantasy, man?
Yeah,
Anybody
let's get into some
Is
fantasy.
anybody playing tonight? Because we coming off the NBA All-Star game. Is there any games tonight?
No, ain't no games tonight. It's a game Wednesday,
Okay.
and we'll do that game.
All right, cool.
It's Phoenix Suns versus the Spurs.
Okay, cool.
So we'll
Oh,
pick-
yeah.
So I think it's a good game for us to find 6 players but I like to do real quick.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So let's start with the Spurs, right? Shout out to Prize Picks.
Yeah,
So-
the Spurs, man. I could imagine a lot of people making money off the Spurs. I mean, do they have enough right now to go to a championship, or does it have to gel?
It has to jail.
It got the jail, but I think they'll make a mean playoff run, and people ain't gonna want to see them in the playoff.
Yeah, they're gonna start meshing when the playoffs start and give like that first round series. They're gonna surprise whoever they met. They can lock up with, whether it's in the play in or not. Because see, they can't get traction right now and get out there play in right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just too many teams playing well out west, and so. But they're gonna hit stride like that, but saying win the play-in game, build a little momentum, and get fired up. Too good to know they're young,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With too much success, and then lock up with somebody good. Second, they might even be able to get to like a final, but if they get to the final, they're getting bled in the final.
But who could flat out beat them in the West right now that you're confident?
It's 7-8 teams,
You think it's 7-8 teams better than them right now
not better than them, but it can beat them.
in a 7-game
older.
series?
A 7-game,
Yeah, that's because we talk about the playoffs.
Yeah,
now.
okay. So you talking about Eastern Conference final, second round of Eastern Conference
West.
Yeah.
Oh no, second round of the Western Conference
Right.
final, or the
All right, let me make it easy for you. We agree that Oklahoma City can beat them, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oklahoma City can get them.
Who's number 2 in the West?
Um,
Because now you're talking about.
Denver. Denver can get them. We can get them.
You think we could beat them in a 7-game series right now?
We're young too. I would ride with us.
I think
but
so,
it's like
only because
it's
of
as
the
much
jail
uncertainty.
factor.
Yeah, it's as much uncertain. We got more jail than they got. You know what I'm saying? By pound for pound, they got more horses because of the veteran
We
presence.
talking about Wemby and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
All,
It's like-
Sengun was the All-Star fam. Stop sleeping on LP. Bro.
Look,
if
if
you
we
hating on LP,
Yeah,
bro.
if we can come in that bad boy healthy with them, we got something for Wemby for sure. Because it's like Steven Adams play big minutes. They can scheme around Wemby. You know what I'm saying?
And what we gonna do about Fox and Castile? What we gonna
that's
do
in the
about
back
that?
court. I mean, we got a guard's
We're
got
gonna put Amin Thompson. We got a league of legendary defenders.
A shout out to the panel showing the H-Town love. So y'all believe, I don't believe it. I'm outnumbered. Y'all believe that the Rockets can beat them in a 7-game series.
in a 7-game series.
So
So
y'all-
home court, yeah, it'll take playing in Toyota Center.
Yeah, look. How many is it? There's 2 or 3. That's 3. That's 3 so far. We already got 3.
Y'all got 3. I got 2.
Okay.
I don't think the Rockets can beat
Okay.
them.
We go like I said. We got.
Y'all got,
We
you
go
got Oklahoma City.
OKC.
You
I
said Denver.
Denver.
Okay.
I got Ant-Man now.
Oh, no, I don't
Ant-Man
think
them can get them.
I don't think so.
Ant-Man them can
I'm
get them.
feeling 2. Y'all got 4. I'm
Ant-Man
feeling
them can get them. We can get them. Dallas can get them.
Oh, my God.
Dallas can get them.
You don't like it.
Dallas can get them. In a 7-game series, the veteran factor is real, bro.
Bro. Listen.
See, New Orleans is out
This,
of
I know you, and we're gonna get to the prize picks, Chuck. I know you. You still got this bitter dream versus everybody mentality, dream versus Pat, dream versus David, dream versus Shaq. You sitting up here telling me that you honestly think Minnesota can beat them in a 7-game series.
I do.
And
Be a
you're
good
not
series.
being biased the fact that you don't like San Antonio.
Nah. San Antonio is nice. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot in place, a lot going on, but it, like the producer said, it needs to gel. And it's going to take a certain amount of gelling, not to mention the fact Chris Paul is cursed. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
it don't matter. Chris Paul is not even a factor now because we
I
got
give you
De'Aaron
another
Fox.
one who could beat him.
Who?
Memphis.
yeah,
Man.
that's a good one. That's
All
a
right,
good, that's
y'all
a
got 5 teams. I got 2.
good one.
Memphis beat them 3 times this season already.
That's before the trade.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
before
what I'm
the
saying.
trade.
He's a
That's
lot-
what I'm saying.
it
Y'all,
leaves a
y'all
lot
still
to-
thinking about the Wemby Spurs. It's a different dynamic now with De'Aaron Fox. It's a different dynamic with De'Aaron Fox and Castile being in the backcourt together. Chris Paul is just there for decoration.
Yeah, he there to coach. He there to
Exactly.
coach Kess.
Exactly.
He didn't coach
Exactly. So let's.
I mean, I like what they got going. I'm not knocking it, but it's just it's too new.
I can't ride with Memphis. I can't ride with Houston. I surely can't ride with Dallas in the 7-game series. Now, can they be beat by those teams? Yes, but not in the 7-game series. But we go to prize pick. Y'all,
All right, so speaking of the Spurs, and let's look at Castle. Y'all think Castle good for over 14 night against Phoenix?
Yeah,
of course,
I like it.
Yeah.
He had to come in that part.
Now, this look like easy money right here. Do we think De'Aaron Fox is good for 5 rebounds?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So you say easy. Last game he had 3. Game before that he had 4. Game before that he had 3. Game before that he had 2.
Yeah, he stays in the passing lanes and run that in transition. He don't get many boards.
Yeah, but they playing Phoenix, so he can get boards on Phoenix. Phoenix is weak, but I'll let y'all pick that. If y'all don't, I can understand y'all not going with that, but I think he will. What else could he go with?
So what about? Do you think he'll get 23 points? De'Aaron Fox.
I like that.
Last game he had 23. Game before that he had 30.
I like that.
Game before that he had 9.
Will he have? Oh, you higher? You say will he get 20?
Higher than 23 or lower than 23?
I like higher on Phoenix. I like higher.
Phoenix. I like the higher too.
They gonna give Phoenix work.
Okay. And let's see here. We think you think Wemby good for 23 points, higher or lower?
Lower.
Are you going lower on Wemby but higher on Fox?
He didn't have to do as much.
Last game he had 6. Game before that he had 17.
Yeah, but
then he had a 31 piece.
It's like that's what
he had 18 and 16.
That's what the trade encapsulates. That man ain't got to do as much.
Yeah, but who's matching up with him with Phoenix? Nobody. Nurkic?
Nah, they traded Nurkic, huh?
Yeah, so who gonna match up with him with Phoenix?
It don't matter. They all system.
How much does he average? Period.
Maybe like what, 17?
Nah, he averaging more. How many points he averaging?
No. So in the last 5 games, his average has been.
That's the last 5 games.
17.6.
He didn't have to do as much. Like them boys running the show. Like he got some floor generals out there, man. Now, you know what I'm saying? They get him.
All right. We can go under on 20.
The lob game. Like they use him though to keep him honest in a 2-man game. You know what I'm saying? He keep him real honest.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have more than higher or lower than 13 rebounds.
That's tough.
I can't say that with him.
Tough.
He should be, but
he should be. So
they got block shots on there?
They got assists, 4 assists.
I don't mess with him with assists. Even though he should be getting that. What about blocks like Rose?
We can do blocks.
He should be doing better than that now. I ain't with Rose saying like, yeah, carrying. Nah, you supposed to be a phenom. He's supposed to give me 25 points a game. I don't care who come over there. They came over there for you.
So they don't got blocks on here.
That's wild.
They don't got blocks on here. But I kind of leaning towards the higher on the 23 points too.
At first I was, but I'm kind of like, but higher. That's probably the best thing, huh? How many assists is he averaging a game? I mean, you don't win no money off with me, man.
Yeah, he only averaging 3 assists.
Yeah, peep game. It's like it's going to be such a handed beating of Phoenix.
That's why I say. That's why I say that first. That's why I say they got nobody to match up with him.
It's gonna be like
could get 30 points.
He could, but he won't. I mean, they gonna get it's San Antonio ball. You know what I'm saying? They don't encourage that.
But we gotta go with something on him. Is it rebounds? What about rebounds?
Lower? Not say lower on the points.
Lower on the points.
He's not giving you more than 23. He ain't gonna throw 30 burger out there. Right. He just not. He doesn't have to. Like he won't have
That's
to.
That's probably the safest bet with him anyway. That's probably the safest bet. All right. I'll put that.
Rebound is a crapshoot. You know what I'm saying? Like he might get you 20, he might get you 2. Man, I don't know that boy on that weight program. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably the best thing with him.
Because that's what nothing else is a do-in. Me and Chuck saw the same game. That's why every time you ask me, yeah, what we gonna do with Wemby? Like, nigga, what you mean we gonna do with Wemby? I seen LP getting 45 in his chest. I saw it. I seen it.
Anyway,
I seen it. Bullet ball. I done seen it. And that's what I was like.
Let's talk about Phoenix for a minute. What y'all think Devin Booker gonna do? We got. Y'all think he gonna do higher or lower than 27 points?
Lower. Yeah. Lower.
I agree with that.
And I love Book, but lower.
He should be getting higher.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, what about KD? Y'all think he gonna do higher or lower than 28 points?
Higher. KD will give you 30.
Yep.
Easy.
What is he averaging in a season?
29. Gotta be, well, what,
What's
27?
his average?
I don't know his season average, but his last 5 game average is 24.
Oh, it's not bad. Since he set 30,000,
Yeah.
he went over 30,000 on points on the.
I guess so. Yeah. Because I mean, we talking about matchups with San Antonio. Who gonna match up with KD?
him, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeremy Sochan.
Man, don't mess with Bill. Can we
No.
find anybody else?
Yeah, I ain't gonna mess with
Yeah,
Bill.
don't mess with Bill
I ain't gonna mess with
unless
Bill.
we do an under on him.
But let's see here. For Bill, they got 15 points, higher or lower.
I mean, bro, that would kind of disrespect him to say under 15.
But
Would
probably
it?
not.
Is he
bro.
still on? He coming off the bench?
So he had 25 last game and 25 the game before.
See, that's kind of disrespectful.
He been
bro.
averaging 20 the last 5.
Bro, don't go against the grain on this one, man. Because I know I see the
All
look
right.
in your eye.
All right.
It's the same look when you be talking about Pat Ewing in the 90s, man. It's like, bro, you gotta admit by Pat Ewing numbers that he was good. Man, forget Pat Ewing, man. Bro, he averaged 20. I'm taking him 15. And with the dream, I'm taking a
I
10.
got to dock him.
See what I'm saying?
Docking him.
Nah, let's go over Chuck, man.
Yeah, I went over.
Yeah, bro, he don't like you, man. He finna chop you down, man.
Docking him.
I don't know. Yeah, let's do that. If he averaged 20, he got 25 the last 2 or 3 games, he over 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal sound like a.
Here we go. See, he don't like him. He don't like him.
Look here, man. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. Look, we just made our bet. 6 picks, $5 for the chance to win $187. And so hopefully everybody do what they got to do. If you tapped in right now and you want to get in on the Prize Picks, man, scan that QR code on the screen. Take advantage of the free bonus points. And they'll give us some bonus books as well. Muchos gracias.
Yeah, let's shout out to Prize Pick, like Chuck said. All right, let's get into some NFL topics, man. There's a lot of talk about Hall of Fame talk, whether it be around the NFL and the association. So, who's eligible for the Hall of Fame of 2026? You got Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Frank Gore, Phillip Rivers, Sean McCoy, Todd Gurley, Marquise Pouncey, and Bill Belichick. All right, bro. How many? We got about 8 names here, somewhere around there. Is there anybody on this list that sticks out that you say, I don't know?
Yeah, it ought to be a lucky 7. I don't know what Gurley did to get that much attention.
Okay.
Was he on that Rams team that won it?
Nah, he wasn't.
He was before that?
I think he was after that. Gurley was after that. Yeah, he was after that.
Yeah, well, I just can't figure out a place where he really just put his feet in and got, that much traction. And like Shady, I can remember maybe winning one or being on a team that went and lost or something.
Shady, most of his career, the bulk of his career, if he had a Hall of Fame case, it was probably Philly.
It was in Philly.
I think he spent some time in Buffalo where he did pretty good, but Philly is a highlight of his career.
Okay.
So I'm with you on Gurley. Now, do you think Shady is the next one on this list that's questionable?
Yeah, I'd say because if but not for that championship on that or that one place on that one championship time, that one season,
right?
I don't even remember why they call him Shady, to be honest.
Me either,
it's like, man, he just doesn't have work like that. He garners the same respect that Frank Gore ought to get, and it's like, nah, you wasn't that kind of bad,
right? And even with Gore, even if you don't respect him, the yards, he got yards. He got so many yards, and that makes him durable. I'm with you.
He's a workman guy.
Yeah, he's a workman. I'm with you. I think McCoy and Gurley are very questionable, especially. I mean, they both about the same to me. Like, I remember McCoy just being a possession running back that just grind you. I mean, he had a couple of explosive
good
plays.
In space. He was like, who he reminded me of was the guy in Seattle before they had beast mode.
Was that Sean Alexander?
Yeah. He was that kind of back where it's like, okay.
Yeah. And Gurley, I felt like Gurley spent too much time hurt.
Yeah. And they were running in the makings. He was running behind the makings of this masterpiece offensive line they've got then. That's why they call him Shady, because they run him little,
Right. So I would say, yeah, I'm with you. McCoy and Gurley are questionable for me on this list. Definitely Fitzgerald. Definitely Breeze.
Everybody else just a winner. Phillip
Yeah.
Rivers is questionable as well. However, he's one of my unsung.
He had a lot of yards too.
Yeah, he had
a lot of yards. And
a
I
lot
think
of Pro
I think
Bowls.
Phillip Rivers, as far as his career, the only thing he didn't do was win the championship. I
Right.
think everything else. Did he get a league MVP? I don't think he was always Pro Bowl though. Always Pro Bowl.
Because he always had like one or two excellent targets.
And he was in that era.
Had LT for a second.
Right.
And
And he had Gates. He was in
Mhm.
that era too of, I call it the Payton, the Payton, Peyton and Brady era. You know what I'm saying? So he was right there. He
Yeah.
was right there.
It's kind of like the other bigs and other people around. They don't have a chip from the 90s. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? Like
right.
when in basketball. Flipping,
Right.
You know?
And that AFC was tough during that time too.
You got some legendary players, never won. You know?
Yeah, but I do think Phillip Rivers should be in there. All right, let's talk about this old and new generation running backs. And I put this on here because it's kind of like when I look at Philly, what they doing with Saquon and the running game, it almost makes me feel like it's coming back. And I'm so happy Philly won because of the way they play. And I kind of figured they would beat Kansas City. I didn't think they would beat them like that, but it made me think about the run game and running backs. Now, let's talk about it. Old versus new. Which one you taking, Roll? Old generation being Adrian Peterson, LaShawn McCoy, and Chuck, you get in on this too. Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, Le'Veon Bell. That represents the old school. The new school, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, and Jamar Gibbs. Again, old generation. Which one you taking, Chuck? Adrian Peterson, LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, Le'Veon Bell versus the new Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, and Jamar Gibbs. Who you taking, Ro? Let's start with you.
I like new. Mine is like a flip because the only problem I got with this is like Derrick Henry is an old school back. You feel me? So it's because you know what you got. I got no problem with him being over here in the new school, but he's a throwback in terms of his skill set and what he brings to the position.
Add to that, let's piggyback off that. I'm gonna get back to you. McCaffrey, Barkley, Kamara, and Gibbs all seem like multi-purpose backs.
Exactly. That's what I'm sitting here looking at. I'm like,
it's like the old running backs.
I mean, down the line, that's like all the versatility, the speed, the explosiveness, the athleticism. I prefer the new generation all day. You know,
because they can do more.
Yeah, you wasn't throwing the ball to Frank Gore or Shady McCoy out the backfield.
No, they were straight runners.
You just wasn't finna toss them the ball.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It's like when I watch Saquon running, I be thinking about Bo Jackson. I be like, man, please let that boy hip hold up, man. But I'm telling you, it's like I haven't seen many people run like that,
right?
Like ever. And it's like,
but McCaffrey, Barkley, Kamara, and Gibbs, they multi-purpose backs. So you prefer the new school?
I think so.
Chuck, who you prefer?
It's tough, bro, because like that run game is what won it for Philly, right? That's what kept them in it all season. And even the teams that were successful, they had successful run games. Like our success in Houston came with Mixon.
I was gonna say
running, right?
I was gonna say that because CJ didn't have the great year that we had last year.
He did.
But Mixon stepped in and made a lot of things.
And Mixon fall in this new category, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of like the new as well. I think I'm rocking with Nero.
It's just a testament to, like I said, think about it, but with Barkley, it's like you got the
Even though
ultimate Swiss Army knife.
So hard.
Yeah, he's AP in beast mode. I mean, you got beast mode.
Like it's hard not to choose beast mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it also depends on how you build your team. Like if you look at the Seattle Seahawks, let's take beast mode. Good example. They built that team to where Russ was throwing, but they also had Lynch to complement. They didn't use a lot of multi-purpose backs. They had a stout defense. Even Le'Veon Bell with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has always been a run first. They didn't really use a multi-purpose back. In fact, that's probably why the Rams, when they won in the 90s, I call them the joystick kids because they look like a video game.
Yeah,
great. But one of the things that the Rams did that a lot of teams weren't doing and it presented matchup problems was they implemented the multi-purpose back system with Marshall.
And Marshall Falk was a problem. And that wide receivers,
and so you had speed and then you had to also cover this back. And that kind of offset, that had defenses confused.
And it's a direct correlation to the time now. I'm telling you, best Swiss Army knife, championship. You know what I'm saying? If you got the best one out there, you could do the most with.
Yeah.
And it's like, think about it. And Detroit had two of them.
Yeah.
When Montgomery came back off that injury, so it's like Montgomery kind of got a place on the list too. That's how you end up potent. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I don't know, it's tough for me, man, because I love the old school backs. But in today's explosive offenses, it's probably the new multi-purpose back.
Because it's like I'd say probably the best back on the old list was great, but I don't care for him that much. Like Le'Veon was nice in Pittsburgh. 2 or 3 years Le'Veon had was the truth. Mm-hmm. But then he got to playing Ryan and wanted to bounce around. He went and tarnished his career out there in New York with them Jets.
Yeah, he did.
Next thing you know, he out there celebrity boxing. Ain't nothing the same.
And you got to ask yourself this. You pose this to the kids that's in college now. It's like, you talk about durability. If you look at Peterson, if you look at McCoy, now Gore is kind of an outlier. Look at Lynch and Bell. Their careers probably won't last as long as a Kamara, McCaffrey, even though McCaffrey has a lot of injuries, because you're not running the ball 3 or 4 times every series. Sometimes you're catching it, sometimes you're blocking it, sometimes you lining up as a receiver, sometimes you act as a decoy versus when you're an Adrian Peterson type of back, all you're doing is running. You pounding and pounding and pounding. So it might be a durability. I like the new thing because as a GM, I'm putting on my GM hat. Shout out to Cole. It's like I need a bang for my buck.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm paying you this, I need you to do more, and I can use you more.
Don't let me mess around and get 2 of them.
Right,
mess
right.
Around draft 2
Because let me tell you the great thing about Saquon.
If I need to pound you, I can.
I can pound you, but I also guess what? One thing that he does is he slid that in.
I said it out loud. I'm like, okay, hold on.
But one thing that Saquon does that he don't get a lot of good feedback on is his ability to block, pick up blitzes. Kamara does a great job. That's why he'll always have a job down in New Orleans. So, and I'm not disrespecting the old school backs, but I've seen even McCaffrey can block. So, yeah, I'm right with the new school.
That's another dimension. And you called it on the head. Like I said, we experienced Marshall Faulk.
Yes.
It's like when you got a back, you don't have to just hand the damn ball out.
And again, on top of the speed that the Rams had, it was like, all right, cool. We stacked the secondary. But it was like, we can't account for all that speed, and then we got to account for this dude leaking out on slants.
Breaking plays open, wreaking havoc just in space. Just held in space,
leaking out on screens. So it's like, man, it was a problem, and I think that's why a lot of people don't give Falk a lot of credit. But I think that was the one thing that defenses. I mean, they already had to deal with Isaac Bruce and all that. But it's like then you got this dude leaking out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So yeah,
well, you ain't got enough people to cover
him and
the receivers.
Exactly, you can't cover them receivers 1-on-1 all the time. Somebody got to get double teamed. With that being said, next question: who had the better career? Who would you take out of Kamara and Christian McCaffrey? I got some stats there.
That's easy for me.
It's easy. Mm-hmm. Who you got?
AK-41.
Kamara.
AK-41. Easy.
Even as great as McCaffrey looked with San Francisco.
Even as great as McCaffrey looked in Carolina. You're right. Absolutely. He's looked great, period. It's just it has not been as effective. Hell, it was in the same division even. We saw them boys lock up directly when he was in Carolina and they played New Orleans.
Now, does Kamara have...
He's just more explosive to me,
He is. Does Kamara have a championship? Was he a part of that Drew Brees era when they won the Katrina era? Was he there?
Maybe. I think he and Ingram might have been there. He and Ingram might have been
in the
backfield.
There.
Yeah, he might have been maybe a rookie or a second year.
I think he was there.
He was around.
Chuck will check it for us, but
he was around because we ain't seen him really work right or look the same since Drew Brees retired, to be honest.
Now, he's got more yards than McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. And he's got more.
And that's surprising because he's a lot smaller back.
Yeah. I would go with Kamara. It's not as easy for me like it is for you because I like McCaffrey. The biggest thing for McCaffrey is that, and I'm glad he got out of Carolina. Most of his career, see, we don't see the significance he did in Carolina because they just did not win.
And see, that's what I'm basing my determination on because they were battling that out. I'd see those matchups in the same division. He would give New Orleans a little bit of work, but New Orleans defensive coordinator had a little bit more for them boys.
Yeah.
that. And Kamara would shine, and they won a lot of those head-to-head matchups. So I hadn't seen him pound for
He
pound.
was not on that team.
So he doesn't have a ring.
No ring.
Have a chip.
Okay.
I still like him better.
I still like him too.
I feel like McCaffrey, you can do more with. He has more versatility because he's got more size, more athleticism. He's just a bigger package with it. But I mean, Kamara's body of work just speaks for itself and what they've been doing. It's a testament. He's exceeded McCaffrey a little bit. They probably about the same age.
Right. I just think for me, what's becoming big for me in the NFL and the NBA is just durability. I think Kamara, he's had some injuries, but every year I feel like McCaffrey had a full season healthy yet?
Back in Carolina.
When it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When he was explosive, he was turned around. You know.
I'm with you. I don't think it's that much of a gap between the two, but I'm rolling with Kamara. All right, let's stay in H-Town. Out of this list, number 5, who do you think is the single most iconic figure in the history of the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans? Bud Adams, Warren Moon, Earl Campbell, and the chat can comment on this, especially you H-Town folks. Bum Phillips, Steve McNair, Derrick Henry. Now we go on Oilers / Tennessee, so keep that in mind. It's not just about the Oilers. It's about the entire franchise, meaning the Oilers / the Tennessee Titans. Who is the most iconic figure? Now, there could be different definitions, so it's kind of subjective of iconic. You got Bud Adams, Warren Moon, Earl Campbell, Bum Phillips, Steve McNair, Derrick Henry. Let's go with you first, Rod, and we'll go to Chuck. In your mind.
I got to, in my mind, for me personally.
And tell us why when you tell us.
I got to go Lakers. Well, let's see. Okay, well, yeah. I go Steve McNair. Just because I know that nigga, you know what I'm saying? I knew that God rest my dog's soul, you know what I'm saying? I knew Steve McNair, but this is
you say
very, very difficult task, my friend. Yeah, well, for me, you said for me. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, iconic.
Okay, tell us why. You got to tell us because you knew him.
Yeah, because I knew him. That point, but I'm a real answer, serious answer. Iconic in terms of like effect and lasting impact.
Because you determine the objectives as to what you, like I say, it's subjective. You determine the objectives of why you pick who's the most iconic figure.
I'd say no. I'd have to say Big Earl.
Yes, sir. I'd have to say
That's
Earl Campbell. Pick right there.
I'd have to say Earl Campbell, just because it's like, who got that many highlights lasting to this day? You know what I'm saying? He got as many highlights on there as Derrick Henry got, and that's crazy.
Of course, yeah. I don't think that's crazy. I think you're 100% right.
After the season that Derrick Henry had this year,
right?
I've still seen equal to as many clips of Earl Campbell in his heyday doing this thizzle, in a particular manner. So I'd say,
and that's probably the most popular answer.
That was iconic because the thing is, it's like this is, I love Warren Moon. That was the truth. That was the best quarterback around. He need an unsung episode on I don't know.
Warren needed 30 for 30.
You feel me? He needed 30 for 30 straight up.
All right, let me give y'all.
Campbell is my answer too.
Okay, let me give y'all both a difficult question because that's a great point. Why would y'all say Earl Campbell over Warren Moon? Because here's the thing: in our era, Warren Moon was like.
Yeah, we saw Warren.
Right.
I see Earl play. I watched Warren at the dome.
Right. But what would put Earl in y'all eyes? And again, it's a subjective, both of y'all. What would put Earl over Warren Moon?
Didn't Earl was Earl the back in the bowl when them niggas lost to Buffalo?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
that was Warren. That's the worst loss.
That's one of the nights I just saw.
Right. We were up 35-3 at half. That was Warren.
It was worse than ATL.
Yeah. In the Super Bowl.
Right.
I had seen the same time.
Right.
I'm glad I ain't bet no chain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that hurt my heart. I might have cried that night, baby. I'm not gonna lie, man.
So
that wasn't even. I didn't even realize it wasn't Jim Kelly.
It was Frank Wright.
Yeah,
Jim Kelly got hurt.
My mind going
because that's what I'm gonna tell you something. That's why I thought we was gonna win. We took the quarterback out. We took the Hall of Fame quarterback out, and we were up by 32 points. A comeback by the second string quarterback like that. But hold on, let's get back to it. So why Earl Campbell over Warren Moon? Just out of curiosity, I want to know.
Well, I think it's the question, right? The iconic
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
Earl was way more iconic than Warren is.
Okay.
Earl's still iconic to this day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he still get like the
From here,
whole royal
okay.
treatment wherever he go. Like,
And we could also say that Warren Moon also had success with other franchises, where Earl, most of his success was with us.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Warren did
Because
it.
Warren went to Minnesota, did
Yeah.
good. He went to Kansas City, did good.
He went
Not
to
probably-
Minnesota?
Yeah. He was out there with Denny Green and them.
What?
Yeah. For a minute. Yeah.
Him and Randall Cunningham?
Yeah. He went out there for
Wow.
a second because he went to Kansas City. They
I remember
did
that.
good.
I remember Seattle and Kansas City
Yeah.
on the stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah. He went to Minnesota for a second. But he had
Kansas City
success
hurt my
out there.
heart twice. Yeah, Kansas City
And-
has been hurting for a long time.
And it's not Warren's fault. They didn't let black quarterbacks. Warren had a stellar career in the CFL before he came to the NFL. Earl Campbell's all Houston. Most of his everything, the bulk of his career.
But Houston down to
Yeah.
UT, from
Yeah.
Austin to
Yeah.
Houston
Yeah.
to
down to the sausage manufacturer.
Right.
feel me, down
Right.
to Shipley's.
Right.
That boy got kolaches.
And he played ball in Texas at Texas. And see, and back to your point, Chuck, Warren could be iconic, but for the wrong reasons because of that Buffalo game.
Yeah.
That's what we remember.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that can make him iconic in a sense because it's probably the worst. It's the biggest playoff comeback probably ever, right?
Who was that coach? It wasn't
Jack
Steve-
Pardee.
Jack Pardee. You sure right.
Yeah.
From U of H. You
Yeah.
sure right.
Because we housed them. I mean, we were, and I remember that because I was in 6th grade. I was at Crystal McCullough, and I was like, that year, I remember this because I went outside and I was telling everybody, we going to the Super Bowl because the next team that we were going to face was Pittsburgh, and we had housed them during Warren Moon's era. Unlike the era with Earl, we couldn't kick down the steel door. So I was like, we going to the Super Bowl. We had housed Pittsburgh. We had finally got over there. So I'm like, we're going to go to Pittsburgh and we're going to wear them out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Buffalo did when they beat us.
Mm-hmm.
They went and housed Pittsburgh to go to the Super Bowl.
You know what? Steve McNair might be the only MVP on that list.
Did Earl get one? Did Derrick Henry ain't get one either, did he? You might be right.
He ain't even get Offensive Player of the Year. Like Steve McNair only got half of one because they gave him the same year they gave Peyton one.
Yeah, and he had the shit.
The year we went to the year the Music City Miracle, they went to the Super Bowl that year.
The only reason why I don't put Steve McNair as the most iconic, and it's so sad, is that I just felt like we did not get to the best that I thought he was going to be. And he took them to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They almost won it, but I just thought he was going to be. And I step out on a limb and say, if he didn't, the tragic death didn't happen, I thought he could be the best quarterback.
Was tough. Him, Eddie George, and all them.
Yeah, Dyson.
That's one thing I was going to say. Yeah, but for Earl Campbell being the only name worthy to be on that list, I say Eddie George. He need a name up there with Derrick Henry.
He could be honorable mention. If we just talking about players, see, I got Bud Adams there because of the iconic.
Yeah.
If y'all don't pay for this Astrodome, we going to Tennessee.
Same thing with Bump Phillips.
You know what I'm saying? And Bump Phillips is the quarterback of Earl Campbell.
Because see, I would have loved to have been able to put Vince on this list. If I could put
Come
Vince on the
man.
list.
You getting to H-Town. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
What I'm saying, that was
going too far.
That was out in
You going
Tennessee.
too far. You going too far.
And that was way out in Tennessee.
I go
Back
to
in that
Eddie
had no-
George, but you see, you go to you H-Town till you die, man.
That's what
Come
I'm saying.
on.
Like that wasn't here. That was in Tennessee.
No.
It's like
No,
I can't really.
no. If you putting Vince on this list, I'm putting Hayward Jeffries. I'm putting Lamar Lathan. I'm putting Bubba McDowell. Shout out to Bubba McDowell,
Yeah.
coaching the Prairie View Panthers.
Chris
You know what I'm saying?
Dishman, yeah. Chris Dishman,
You gonna put
TSU.
them on
Eddie
there?
Jeffries might be more iconic.
Like Drew Hill. You know what I'm saying? And Vince, come on, man. You showing too much H-Town
Ernest Gibbons
love.
was right. Ernest
Exactly.
Gibbons was
Like
right.
Al Smith,
Yeah,
Lamar
right.
Lathan. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't know. I knew you was gonna try to slide Vince in there, man. All right, let's do one more NFL topic and then we get to the association. All right, who was the best team of the 90s out of the following options? The 1991 Washington Redskins, and ladies and gentlemen, they were called the Redskins back then. The 1999 St. Louis Rams, greatest show on turf. We just talked about them. The 1998 Denver Broncos. I think that was Elway's latter years. And then the 96 Packers, which was Favre's Packers. Was Reggie on that team as well? Reggie White?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think was the best team of those 1990s out of those options? 91 Redskins, 99 Rams, 98 Broncos, or the 96 Green Bay Packers? You go first, bro.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the greatest show on turf, easy.
Yeah.
Greatest show on turf. I mean, with Washington, it's like, who? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't remember who was on that team. That wasn't CP, none of them boys.
That team was good, though. I can't remember. I remember Joe Gibbs was
that
the head
Stephen
coach.
Davis?
That
was Stephen Davis.
They won it. Remember, they won the Super Bowl. I just can't remember.
Robert Griffin or nobody. What, they won the Super Bowl in 91?
Yes.
Oh, that was Mark Rippon.
Mark Ripken. There you go. What's my man that was at receiver? Was it
might have been John Riggins.
John Riggins. They had the Hogs for the offensive line.
Yeah. Okay.
What's my
Monk?
man?
Art Monk.
It might have been Monk. I think Monk, and they had another receiver that was pretty good too. They were all right.
Wasn't Dexter Manley or nobody, huh?
Nah, Dexter was gone by then. He might have been on that 91 team.
He might have been on that 91
Shout out
team.
to Dex, man. I see Dex in the trade sometimes, man. So we laughing. We laughing, ladies and gentlemen. We laughing because you would see Dexter
in the trade.
Quite literally. Every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm torn, fam, because in the 90s, like, I was a Niners fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the list. I'm like, bro, the team. Like, I was Jerry Rice and Steve Young and them. But that was just my team in the 90s. I played Tecmo Bowl with him. I played Madden with him. That was my team.
It's like the Lakers and the Celtics in the 80s, of course. You know what I'm saying? But out of this group. The Niners. Because see, here's the thing.
I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Okay.
That's the
Terrell Davis.
Yeah. He was a beast.
I forgot about him. Multi-purpose back. I forgot about TD. That's right.
TD was tough.
He was the only way Elway was able to ride off with that one.
TD.
I forgot about TD. Yeah,
TD would have broke that record. If y'all remember that season, that boy had the migraines and didn't even play all them games. He'd be running so hard, this nigga head hurt. So it's like, say.
That's right. I forgot about TD.
He might have missed 2-3 games. You know, I forgot about that.
I was just thinking about Elway's kind of just getting out of here then. Because that wasn't his best years, but he finally made it back, and that's when they had the new uniform.
He had the most complete team.
He had the complete team. I forgot about Terrell Davis.
They might have went back to back, right? Their little baby dynasty. Yeah. That's the only time Denver made a lot of noise right before Peyton won that last one.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with the Rams, but you make a great case for Denver, Chuck. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about Terrell Davis and those iconic multi-purpose back years with him. Even when they didn't win, when they were still competitive, TD had a great. They had another dude that came in there. I think it was Kenny Smith or something like that. Kenneth something that also did the same.
Best part about that Redskins team, they beat the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
that's probably the best thing about that team. Because outside of that,
but they was nice though.
They might have been.
They didn't have no big names that we can remember.
Yeah,
but I gotta go
with Bay team. That was Brett Favre. Reggie
White. Yeah.
Antonio Freeman.
Sterling Sharp and all.
Was Sterling there? Sterling got hurt. I think he was on the team. He was on the team,
but he got hurt.
Yeah. Because he got a ring from that, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the greatest show on turf.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
Steve
McNair had that ring, if not for a yard. You know what I'm saying? Like that changed our whole trajectory. He'd have been the most iconic figure for shit show. But that's with one more yard, man. One more yard.
He's so H-time, man. He just got to
one more yard.
He got to bring it back.
Shout out to Alcorn State.
Here we go. Shout out to my man McNair. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
All right, let's get to the association. Chuck, let us know when you're ready for a sponsor break.
We're getting to one right now.
All right, let's go ahead.
Join the association. See what we're talking about.
All right.
Looking to crush your fitness goals? Welcome to Mo City Fitness, where we've got it all. A state-of-the-art gym, personalized meal plans, cutting-edge cryotherapy for proper recovery, massage therapy, and so much more. Located at 445 Murphy Road in Avenue E, walk-ins are always welcome, or you can give us a call at 832-539-1662. That's 832-539-1662. Tap in with us on Instagram at Mo City Fitness to schedule your free physical assessment today. Mo City Fitness, where your fitness journey begins and greatness never ends.
Stop. It's COVID, flu, and RSV season. Boost your immune system now.
Fortress was developed to provide key ingredients that provide such aid to the body's immune mechanisms.
So how do I fight COVID, the flu, and RSV?
So our job isn't to defend ourselves from things, it's to help support our body's natural immune system to begin with. And when you look at Fortress, that's exactly what we're after. Individually sourced ingredients that have been demonstrated to support our natural immune system and help our bodies just do a good job at what they're naturally meant to do. And that's why Fortress is a very nice combination of these independently sourced ingredients that can help support a healthy immune system.
Learn more about Fortress and natural ways to boost your immune system by clicking the link.
Yeah, quarterback. Back, man.
Yo, rep the movement with Mo Serious Fashions. Copy a fresh snapback or hoodie or a tee. All represent the Mo City Podcast, Debate with Bake, or Gloves Up, Guns Down. Everything is custom made with love from our top-notch manufacturers. We got a dope range of colors and sizes to fit your vibe. Everything from blue, red, green, black, white, and more. Rep the Mo and keep it fresh, fam. Hit up moseries.com/merchandise and order today. Let's go.
All right, shout out to all our sponsors, man. Shout out to all the you see the gear and apparel. Go to moseries.com, get you a fresh hat, get you a jumpsuit, represent for Debate with Bake podcast, as well as the other podcast that's on moseries.com. Check that out. But for DWB tonight, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Shout out to my man Cole. Cole, if you watching, man, we miss you. We definitely want to talk about the Jets, but it's all good, brother. We'll catch you on the next one. Shout out to my man in New York. All right, let's get to the association. We just had All-Star Weekend. One of the biggest topics that's kind of going kind of underneath everything. And what I mean by everything, it's not the big story, but it's the looming story. There's been talks all across the NBA world about these two teams. But which team is the bigger disappointment? The Phoenix Suns or the Philadelphia 76ers? Both teams, I would say, probably has underperformed looking at the star power that each team has. Now, I sent the, I don't know if you guys saw it today, but I sent the comment. Shout out to my man, Shannon Sharp. He was interviewing Gilly today. And Gilly was really...
I'm done trusting the process.
Yeah, I mean, Gilly called out Joel Embiid as well as Paul George. I've never been high on Paul George just because of that, because of injuries. But he really laid the wood to the Philadelphia 76ers, them being in 12th place, and how many times that they've been waiting on trusting the process, a.k.a. Joel Embiid. And I've been saying that as well. But also the Phoenix Suns, man. I mean, they put together Durant, Booker, brought Beal in, and it hasn't worked for either one. So that's why I'm asking both of y'all, which team has been the bigger disappointment? Tell us why, which team it is, and tell us why you think that team is the bigger disappointment.
It's Philadelphia by far. And simply because they've been in a watery East that's been ripe for the taking for quite some time. So it's like I give Phoenix a little bit more grace. What they've done is equally underwhelming, but it's just, Philadelphia has just been an absolute train wreck and disappointment, and they're squandering. They're trying to hang on and hitch their wagon to the only good chip they have, but I mean, the wear and tear y'all putting on this poor young man, you know what I'm saying, carrying the rest of this baggage around, the math ain't mathing, it's like you got to really do a little bit better. Because I mean, like you said, for the star power that they possess and the expectations level, because didn't nobody, it's nice in Phoenix, but didn't nobody really expect them to do shit. That shit, it looks nice. It might play nice on 2K, you know what I'm saying, even, but wins and losses, championship outcome, not really. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just kind of a showcase. That's just a stop along the way. The way I see it for a lot of these guys that stay on the move. So I'd say Philadelphia being a bigger disappointment because they're the team that seemed to be making moves to remedy where they were lacking a little bit better, more so than, Phoenix. Phoenix signed it good, looked good. It was
Right.
good for the newspapers, but nah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Philly could have won a chip, and they're going to end up being one of the biggest shoulda, woulda, couldas in history. You know what I'm saying?
I think just to piggyback off what you said, I do give Phoenix a little bit of grace because of the West. The West is so competitive now. But I think it starts with, when I look at both teams, why they both are disappointments, it starts with the number one guy. For Philadelphia, it's been Joel Embiid. For Phoenix, it's been Kevin Durant. Now, as good as Kevin Durant is, and I've been one of the bigger critics of Kevin Durant, what I will give him in comparison to Joel Embiid is I think Kevin Durant is starting to settle in the sunset of his career. He's still putting up big numbers, but he's doing what he's always done, is score points. The problem that I have with the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'll start with Joel Embiid, is this. Embiid will show us, he will give us games that halfway in shape, he looks like the best center in the league.
Yeah, like last year even, right? I'm
Right.
thinking about his playoff appearance on one leg.
Exactly.
30
Triple-doubling.
piece.
Right.
On one leg, triple
Right.
double.
50 burger.
Yeah.
And so you start to ask yourself, if he would just come in shape, I mean, he looks it. I think about the game. It was a couple of years ago. We had 70 points and he didn't shoot a three. It was all mid range. And it was like, so
He's got the wrong people in his camp to some degree. It's got to be something.
there's something going on with his off-season regimen, whether it be his trainers, I don't know if he has a nutritionalist.
Yeah,
Now,
I've heard he's another surgery away from being right or something or another. I
Right.
heard, so.
Now, Gilly brought up this point about him. You miss games for us, okay, for the
But you go
Philadelphia
play in the
Stadium,
Olympics.
but you go play in the Olympics.
That was the worst thing he could have done.
Right. And so
Like the U.S. team, they don't need you, fam.
exactly,
First off,
and you
they don't need
and
you.
your contribution wasn't that big anyway.
You took Jason Tatum's minutes.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Especially if we trying to push for a championship in Philadelphia, it starts with him. Number two, as an organization, Philadelphia 76ers, I have to question this. You guys chose to pay Tobias Harris $40 million. That in itself is crazy. $40 million a year, you got to bring me 20 points a game in the playoffs. He was averaging like 12. Now, granted, y'all got him out of there. And it's not just about him. It's been a lot of decisions that they've made as an organization where I've kind of said, I think the only thing they've gotten right within the last couple of years is the young kid.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing they've gotten right.
And
Other than
the
that-
mistake with that was Maxey wasn't a mistake. I think bringing in PG
Exactly. That's
took
what I
it
mean.
away from Maxey.
Exactly.
Like,
Because PG chose them at the phone book. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Preferred destination. I heard they want me. Just
Right.
saying. You know.
And my thing is this. It's like, and here's the thing. I gotta give Dallas shook up the league with this Luka
big
thing.
old fact.
And I'm hoping, and I've been pro players in this all the time, but when I look at Dallas, I'm looking at Philadelphia saying, if they had the balls to do that and their guy took them to the finals, it's time you move on
Like,
from Joel
took you
Embiid.
just took you to the final.
Right.
Not the few seasons
Right.
ago.
And so what
Like,
Dallas
we was
did,
just here.
right, what Dallas did was put a lot of pressure on being that organization that says, okay, our number
pull the
one
trigger.
guy ain't getting it done.
Yeah.
So
Gotta shake it up.
you got to shake it up. And it makes Philadelphia look bad because, and I get it, like Joel Embiid is that good. It's like, man, but if they can get rid of Luka and say, you know what, you're not coming in shape, we're not paying you the max, even though you young
Just
and
start
you
taking
got
them
us to the finals.
You better start taking them calls.
Exactly. And so it makes Philadelphia, it makes me wonder, the pressure's on y'all because as a major city, your fan base is going to start to say, Gilly said it today. He didn't say it in these exact words, but he said, I don't trust the process no more. It's time to move on. So if Dallas can do it, then that means y'all ain't serious about winning. And you know how Philadelphia fans are.
And the teams that's serious about winning, like I think
we're
about,
living in a what have you done for me
Exactly,
lately? You know, society.
And
look,
Dallas just opened that
Eagles
door.
Just won.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Boston even, right?
Yeah.
Boston was like when they traded Smart, he wasn't the caliber of
but it was a big move.
It was a huge move.
It was a big move.
It was a team changing.
Exactly.
Move.
And he didn't play. He played well for Boston. He was their defensive guy. And they just said, hey, we moving on. Now, granted, we're going to see if this works for Dallas. But granted, for Boston, kudos to them. We got rid of Smart, but we got Holiday.
We had a plan.
Exactly. And so we quickly forget about Smart because what? We won a championship.
Yeah, and Holiday is proven.
That's them old wildly red R back moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Dog, y'all
and again,
to y'all.
Historic organizations, and that's what makes Philly look bad because y'all supposed to be.
Yeah, one of those. Right. They're one of those.
Right. And granted, man, and you know, I can't blame Philadelphia's fans, even though they can be hard, but it's like we haven't done anything meaningful since AI when they had to face the juggernaut Lakers. The AI step
game,
over.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Me?
So it's like,
especially when you're a Philly fan, you
exactly.
Look at the other teams, the Phillies got them a chippy. The Eagles just got them one.
Yeah,
went to another one.
They went to another one.
Like the other teams.
In fact, the Eagles have been to 3 within the last 20 years and won 2. Exactly. Right.
Never will forget it, man. Cat from Philly, man, and Eric Harden, man, fought Antonio Tarver one time. And Antonio Tarver was whooping him so bad, man. The ref stepped in there, asked him if he was all right. This nigga said, "I'm from Philadelphia." And they stopped the fight, you know? And it's like, bro.
And so
Philadelphia's tough, man.
Yeah. And so I think it is the 76ers, man. I think they the biggest disappointment.
The biggest disappointment with them is on top of to piggyback on the Maxey deal, Maxey 100 plus, Embiid 100 plus. Paul 100 plus, right? They not even in position to trust the process.
Exactly.
They're gonna have to break it up.
And you got
protocol.
Right. And then another thing about Embiid, we've moved everybody except you. Now it's your turn. You see what I'm saying? We've moved other people.
Is Morey still a GM out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
But see, he can't.
Rough go.
And that's another thing. You know, he hitched his wagon to Harden. That was a failed experiment. You know what I'm saying? So, and it might even be Harden's fault completely, but
I just contribute. That's part of the storyline.
It's part of the dysfunction, everything. So I'm pretty sure everybody's got to look at that organization and say, okay, it's probably time to make some front office changes. Remember, we brought in Doc. We was high on Doc. We was high on Embiid.
That's Elton Brand.
Yeah. So just getting to the playoffs shouldn't be enough. All right, let's talk about this, and then we'll get to moving. All right. There's a couple of topics here I could go, man. These are good, man. All right.
Rock with the shooters.
Let's go with it.
Rock with the shooters.
The 10 best three-point shooters in NBA history. This is Fox list. Now, do we agree with this? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the order. You could have if you think somebody was left off. But number 1 is Steph Curry. Number 2, Ray Allen. Number 3, Reggie Miller. Number 4, Klay Thompson. Number 5, James Harden. Number 6, Kyle Korver. Number 7, JJ Redick. Number 8, Damian Lillard. Number 9, Dirk Nowitzki. Number 10, Peja Stojakovic. This is a very questionable list to me. But when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay.
I ain't gonna say questionable, but it's
well, obviously, of course, the first 3, right? Curry, Allen, Reggie. Okay. But here we go.
NBA history. It's the NBA history part.
Exactly. See, and this is where it starts to get flaky, bro.
Is this how the list stacks up right now?
Well, just period. Yeah, this is Fox list.
But I'm saying, no, is this how the all-time list just makes 3-point makes?
Yes,
up?
it's ranked best in he say NBA history, like Chuck said. So here's where it gets flaky. Klay Thompson, James Harden, Kyle Korver, which probably deserves to be there.
Not really.
JJ Redick.
Not really.
Leonard.
Dame Time can go. Yeah. Dame Time can go.
I think Dirk deserves to be there.
I got Dirk in there.
Okay, now here's
I got Page in there too.
Here's what I have a problem with though with Peja.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we talking about NBA history, right?
Mm-hmm.
History.
So
So Peja over Glenn Rice, over Larry Bird.
that's what I say. I was ready to say Larry Bird.
Okay.
Bird ain't on this list.
Those are the blaring deficiencies. Because the one I was gonna pull when y'all boys gonna feel me, I was gonna pull one out, man. I was thinking about my man Chris Jackson.
Craig Hodges.
Well, he wasn't really a strictly 3-point shooter. He was lethal.
That's a short period. Right.
Yeah.
He was about like
now this say 3-point shooter. So here's the thing. Larry Bird, who won multiple 3-point contests. You can even throw Craig Hodges in there, just off a 3-point. But here's the thing.
Dale Ellis.
Chuck
Person.
That's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying? Steph's dad.
Yeah, Wardell Joseph.
Yeah. So, man,
it's tough. It's tough.
JJ, like, all right, let's just
I'd
say
even be corny and throw like a Thunder Dan Marley
right
on there. Like it was
right.
that thing.
So here's the thing. I don't even know if I could put Reggie above Larry Bird.
No, you can't. Bird got chips.
Steph,
like the chips would do it for me. I'm looking at them as shooters, now 3-point shooters.
Now Steph and Ray Allen, I think, are pretty much consensus. I think everybody would agree. You know, because
the best 3-point shooters don't equate to the best actual shooters. This makes me feel like, okay, if you just was back there jacking and your bitch ass could get on
exactly,
the list, like Harden,
and then look at the last four: Thompson, Harden, Korver, Reddick, Leonard, Dirk, Stojakovic. That's all from the same era, so it's the bias list anyway. But I'm talking about Dale Ellis. I'm talking about the guy we just named, Dale Ellis.
Chuck
You can throw the rifleman in there. I mean,
Craig Hodges.
Shit,
we can go with Mark Price.
I was gonna say Mark Price. Yeah, I'm thinking about Mark Price.
With gunners.
Yeah,
high percentage gunners.
Yeah, Mark Price. Man,
it's a lot of.
We can keep it H-Town. I would throw somebody like Rashard Lewis in there.
Are we talking about numbers for real? He got to be on the list.
That's what I said. If Peja can go in there, as a case for
that's
Rashard.
What I'm saying,
right? And I don't have anything against
Allen
Peja.
Houston. You know
right?
What I'm saying?
Right. I don't have anything against Peja, but I'm okay with Dame Leonard and Dirk. What I have a problem with is Harden, and I know Harden made a lot of threes. Klay Thompson, and I'm not saying these guys don't deserve to be on the list. Top 15, top 20 year. But how can you not have Larry Bird on this list? I mean,
because it's like they need to combine like the percentage you shot,
with
how many makes you,
and it's gonna be biased anyway. You know what I'm saying? But those last four names, I mean, I can go like I said, Dirk, yes, Leonard, Peja, Reddick, Korver, and Korver shot the ball well. I mean, I could throw Dale Ellis in there. I could throw Larry Bird in there. Even the rifleman, as streaky as he was, he's got much of a case than just as Peja.
Yeah, he and Glenn Rice. Like Glenn Rice put together 2 or 3 of the best seasons I've seen shooting the ball, man.
Exactly. So
at a time when Buzz
and we talking about threes too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a biased list, man. I don't know, man. All right, let's keep it H-style, man. I got a best for roll on this. Who's your all-time favorite Houston Rocket? McGrady, Murph, Dream, Moses, Harden, Elvin Hayes.
It's a trick question.
Is there anybody else that deserves to be in that company for the Houston Rockets?
Stevie, just because he's a fan favorite.
His body of work wasn't enough.
It wasn't.
Body of work.
I'd say Stevie and Cat deserve consideration.
But the body of work, they were good. Don't get me wrong, but the body of work, it was 2 or 3 years at the most that they were at the height of their powers.
It gotta be Dream, right? That's the obvious choice.
That's the obvious choice because of the championships.
But, and you probably won't like this one, as far as, but the impact they had on Houston, the beard, bro.
Oh well.
What James Harden did in Houston, fam.
But that's the reflection of the times because the NBA was moving to. See, here's the thing about Harden. And you're right to a certain extent, but it was the era. Harden and Curry were the poster child of the offensive era for their teams. Because
I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
So that's why James Harden deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, he averaged a triple-double with us.
Right. So, but see, you got to what push
MVP.
And MVP.
Right.
MVP.
Right, as a guard, which is tough. Now, it's subjective because Dream will always have a special place. Why? Because of the championships.
Yeah, and he's the greatest center.
Right.
On top of the chips.
Right. Now, again, what's quiet is kept is Moses.
And Calvin.
Yeah. Them guys, they didn't win one, but they had just as much of an impact. Now, we could say Dream too. People could argue with us and say that was y'all era when y'all watched basketball. We biased.
Was he Dream played with them, didn't he?
He played with Moses his rookie year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he ever played with
final?
Calvin.
Okay, Calvin was a little before.
Yeah.
Calvin went to a
was
final
probably,
and lost to Boston too.
Yeah, Calvin was probably with Elvin Hayes. And Hayes might have been a little bit earlier than that.
Okay.
But this says your all-time favorite Rocket player.
Yeah, you got to throw Vernon on there. You got to throw Robert Horry on there.
See where he's going. See where he's going.
You got Mario Ellie. I dust
See.
Carl Herrera off and Matt Bullock. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't your favorite players, man.
Like,
no, but so favorites?
Yeah, it says who's your favorite? They say who's your favorite all-time Houston Rockets player of all time?
Oh, probably T-Mac.
That's your favorite.
Like just as far as enjoying the gameplay, like what T-Mac and y'all did was so special. And injuries,
stay hurt. Yeah.
Man, new niggas.
You're right. Probably T-Mac. That 12 points and I don't know how many seconds on San Antonio was sick.
He had a bunch of them type moments in Houston. You know what I'm saying?
It just T-Mac was such. I remember
it was such entertaining.
It was, and I remember watching him. And what I could not believe when I actually saw him, I was like, "Damn, he looked like he's 7 feet doing all that shit out there, man." He was so big and tall. And it was so effortless. He to me,
shit out Sean Bradley.
Sean.
He to me,
Ewan.
He to me was Houston's biggest what if ever.
Yeah.
Because
we knew what if we knew he needs Brady.
But him coming from Orlando and some of the games he put together here, he was supposed to be a league MVP here.
Yep.
To me, he was at least supposed to get them to the finals here because after Elijah won, McGrady represented to me. I knew for a fact we had one of the best players in the league, hands down. After Elijah,
we talking about them being bold enough to make them kind of trades, right?
That was one of the only circumstances.
Steve and Coutinho.
That was the only way that was even acceptable. Matter of fact, because I didn't. I
wasn't
feeling it. I wasn't feeling it.
The whole city was mad because we rocked with Stevie.
I wasn't feeling it.
Well, the thing about Stevie is this. See, this is the separator between, and I think Stevie could have been there. I do think Stevie should have been there. But for me, McGrady was always, even here in Houston, McGrady was always one of the top 3 players in the league. Franchise, it might have been 3 or 4 guards. I don't say necessarily talent-wise they were better than Stevie, but I never had it in my mind that Stevie was one of the top 3 guards in it. Top 5? Yeah.
You know
McGrady
what?
To me, because for me,
I was around. Aaron
Davis.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
All of them guards.
Exactly. And the thing about Stevie, and that's not Stevie's fault. No. The thing about Stevie is too injuries, because he's another one that if he would have been more healthy, I think he could have been in that conversation. Stevie would show us flashes like, damn, like tonight, he looked like the best point guard. Mm-hmm. But for me, when McGrady was doing what he was doing, it was him and Kobe.
Exactly.
Him and Kobe. And maybe you throw in somebody else. I can't think of any other guard, but after Elijah won, and we watched Elijah won, he came in as one of the better centers, but we watched Elijah One be the best center. The best center. And Elijah One showed us against all the best centers. That's how we knew he was the best. I thought McGrady, when he came here, I was like, we got an MVP candidate.
Yep.
Like one of the best. I don't even know what the hell he is. 2 guard, 3 guard, but it was him and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Kobe. No matter when he got hurt, I was like, I always felt like, and again, for scoring 12 points in 1 minute, 11 points in 1 minute, I always feel like McGrady could go for 60 tonight.
Yeah.
We had like a real freaky version of like the Joker and Murray back then. You know what I'm saying? It was like with Yao and T-Mac.
No, and I would say this. I think they would have been better.
Yeah.
They were bigger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now the Yao couldn't pass like Joker, but Yao was skilled and he was a matchup problem. They just both stayed hurt. That could have been, I felt like if they got it together.
You ask around the league, but
they
they
could have brought us some championships.
Yeah, they would have beat Shaq and Kobe.
Yes. I believe that wholeheartedly because much like I said about McGrady in relation to Kobe, that was a back-to-back. And Yao was big enough to give Shaq problems.
And he did give Shaq
problems. And he just couldn't stay healthy. You see what I'm saying? So McGrady is the biggest what if to me. And maybe in Houston sports, period. Like the talent level, some of the things that he was able to do while he was here, it's just like, man, if he just and it got to be mental with him.
Yeah, that's the crazy part to really think, because it's like that was a diminished T-Mac.
Exactly.
That was a diminished T-Mac. And it's like, damn, that was diminished.
That was a diminished. And he still was one of the top players in the league.
Easily.
And you know, I would say my favorite was probably Elijah Wan because I'm biased. But I think, man, McGrady, man, I remember saying, man, we got a all NBA player coming here.
You feel me? My all-time favorite, just ain't gonna live. I'm out with Vernon Maxwell or somebody, you know. Rapping Mad Max. Gotta put one of them niggas in these streets, you know what I'm saying? But you know, other than that, can't really do wrong with any of them. But Harden.
Well, Harden probably had, other than Dream, the most successful individual campaign.
Yeah, with that MVP year. Yeah. But I'm just what he did for me, besides give me cataclysmic, nightmare-inducing meltdowns. You know what I'm saying? Year after year,
particularly in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it's like, man.
Now we could argue this on this list. This is arguable. This is, and this might be a debate on this list. He probably had the better stats as far as the regular season than all of these guys. The numbers
for that 1 year, I don't know if anybody, because he had that damn Oscar Robertson year that was just crazy, where he was doing everything. When only for him to turn around and say, "I'm tired."
Right.
I can't do it all by myself. What y'all mean, man? Right. So it's like, I got a lot to hold.
Couple years, he gave us a triple double with CP3. Then he turned around with Brody. And came back and they ran it again.
Bro, he gave us about 3 or 4 years of dominance. Offensive dominance.
Like averaging 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, any given night, 45 points, 21 assists.
In one season, he literally gave all 30 teams a 40 piece.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the bulk of his career was huge.
I remember that.
As far as numbers.
Yeah.
The bulk. All right. We're going to do a couple more and we're going to get out of here. All right. Let me ask this question. 2 more. Well, we'll say these other ones. Man, this is good. All right. Ro, I want to ask you this, because you be on these 2 guards. We'll say the 2 guards one for that. All right. Which decade had the best MVPs? The 90s. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Shaquille O'Neal versus 2010 to 2019 MVPs. Derrick Rose, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Giannis. Who had the better MVPs?
90.
Yeah, from a success standpoint.
Tell me why, though.
Just the bodies of work, because if you
Michael Jordan,
if the MVPs if the MVPs cancel each other out, you just have these teams, they will say, to play against one another, kind of if they stack up position to position. We only have a few mismatches. Even we only got like Barkley's mismatch, and he was a dog in his MVP season, so it's like you can't really take that from him. The other guys, you got some big what ifs. You got Derrick Rose, which is the biggest what if ever. Can't take his MVP away, but that's still the biggest what if ever. The King, who is the biggest underachiever, we'll say, even in spite of all of the glorious things he's done. You know, what is it? 4-10 10 in the finals.
Mhm.
What is he? 4-10 in
He
finals.
lost 6, I think.
He lost 6 and won 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, and not worth taking away from him, but it gives a blemish on the greatness to me, in my opinion. Kevin Durant the same way, situational. Steph Curry is complete. Giannis is complete. They could deserve in any era.
Okay.
But
all right, let me play devil's advocate.
Mhm.
Because it's 2 things I want to play devil's advocate in favor of the 2010 group. Some people would say, regardless, and we're talking statistic wise, nobody from that 90s era matched that Russell Westbrook MVP year, triple double.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
That's one thing.
That's true.
Another thing, some people would argue, and this is a fair argument in the 90s, and this is no knock against Jordan and no knock. I'm talking about mostly Jordan and Elijah Wan. Some people say in the 90s, like in the 2000s to 2019s, these guys that won these MVPs, they flat out won those with no controversy. Some
Where's
people
Kobe?
say, huh?
Where's Kobe?
Probably that 2000 era.
Okay.
But some people would say in the 90s, you could have gave Jordan, when Jordan got to the peak of his powers,
The MVP every year?
exactly. Some people said that about Elijah Wan.
That's
Some
true.
people say when Robinson, that's why Elijah Wan went off on him. Elijah Wan should have got
That's
that
the
trophy.
difference. You could say that about anybody on this list, though.
But see, some people say in the 2010 era, Derrick Rose flat out won it. There
He
was
did.
nobody else that
He did.
deserved it. When LeBron James won it, there was no controversies. In the 90s, people say Michael and Shaq could have won it. I mean, Michael and the Kings could have won
See,
it.
I think that's debated. That's debatably wrong, because LeBron might owe a couple of them MVPs in Miami to D Wade or somebody else that was really getting
So that's your counter-argument.
equal thunder in that time. Same with Durant. Durant's MVP season, unless it was in OKC, he wasn't the MVP on his team.
It
You know what I'm
was
saying?
though when he was in OKC when he got that MVP.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
He got that Finals MVP. in
Well,
Golden State.
that's undebatable. Okay, that's undebatable. And
See,
I
some
can't
people
touch
say that
Durant.
because some people say the 90s belong to Elijah Wan and Jordan.
Well, Olajuwon, Jordan, David Robinson, they can share the list, because anybody was putting up numbers like that I witnessed. Magic could have got the MVP every year from what he was doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Jordan,
That's what people say.
Jordan got the MVPs
That's
and
what-
won it.
That's what people are saying about the 90s. Well, Magic more the 80s.
Yeah, Barkley and Karl Malone, the only ones didn't get to see it through. But them seasons, I can't take away from them two either. You know what I'm saying? The
But some
seasons
people-
Karl Malone got
But
them.
some people argue that
Jordan could have got it in the year that Barkley
because
got
he beat both of them,
Yeah.
Malone and.
But that happened all the time. That happened to Dave Robinson a couple of times, and he still got rings. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Dave Robinson, the year he won it, we know it was dreams.
But that's what I'm saying. That's people's argument about
Just because it's
2010.
debatable just speaks volumes to the era, to the caliber of the entire era. You got to understand, it was a different quality of
I'm just
basketball.
playing
'Cause,
devil's
look,
advocate. I
you
agree
can,
with you.
no,
on
look,
that.
because you can. I'll tell, like I said, I love him to death. Brody, the Beard, I love him to death. But look, you can take that away from him. Basketball is completely different now. These are inflated ass stats, nigga. You really think and Russell Westbrook plays hard? Harden by far average a triple double is by a mastery feat for him alone, simply because he just doesn't do anything all that well.
And it's
But
mostly offensive with him.
that's
right?
what I'm saying with all the
Yeah,
categories.
right.
Russell, with Russell,
Russell is the only one.
you feel me? Like, he might push one day, just play his mind out and have a quadruple double. You know what I'm saying? Just the way he plays the game. You know what I'm saying? So he's deserving, yet that hasn't translated to winning as of yet. So,
That's a counter argument.
you know, it's like,
Yeah.
man, look, I don't give a damn about your one individual AAU season you played out there where y'all niggas washed out, or where Harden ran out of gas. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, that can't be your excuse.
CP3.
Yeah, that can't be your excuse. You ran out of gas. That's like that MVP, that Embiid shit. You ran out of gas, nigga. You got to do too much, nigga, for real. When you, it's the
But
underachievers.
again, because even the David Robinson year, like that's what I'm saying. In the 90s, people, and I'm playing devil's advocate. In the 90s, people were saying that was controversial. You could have gave Elijah Wan that award that year.
Yeah, he had to go out there and win it on his own. He had to be the people's. He had to live in the minds
Yeah.
of the people.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm just playing that. I think the 90s are, you know.
I think they killed him.
I mean, I can turn around to the people that's arguing for 2010, 2019, the rust season. I can say, okay, 72-10. The way he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Losing
that season ever. It's like I trade that for a triple double.
You see what I'm saying? I can turn around and say, man, this man was so mad that he came back because he lost to Orlando. This man was so mad that he came back. They lost 10 games. And here's the thing about Jordan and Elijah One's runs. I'm gonna use Jordan for example. What's so historic about those runs, those 3-peats, 2 3-peats? Think about how many games they played. If you go back to when Golden State was trying to 3-peat with Durant, Clay, when they got to their third year, you see them start to have crazy injuries. Clay's Achilles went out game 3. Durant's knees went out. You know how much stamina you got to have to do a 3-peat? That's 100+ games back to back.
3 years in a row.
And that's why Jordan and Elijah One is in that company with a back-to-back. But that's why Jordan has to be heralded, Magic too, because of the amount of games that they had to play, and they played every night. It wasn't no load management. You see what I'm saying? That's 3 championships. Think about Jordan won 2. Jordan won 3, left, came back, and then was so mad he won. They won 72 games the way they did.
That's why the 72 holds up
against that
73. You know, against that 73.
Oh yeah, that's a blowout. That ain't even. I don't even compare it. All right, well, cool. I mean, I'm with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I do think the 90s had the best MVPs. All right. Let's get to 2 more, and then we get out of here. All right. Does anybody have an issue with? You got some Hall of Famers coming up: Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, Marc Gasol, and Amadi Stoudemire. Should all of them get in?
Yeah. I don't
Chuck, you think they should get in? All of them? Chuck shaking his head, man. Chuck, who you breathing hard on?
Dwight Howard.
Really?
Oh, no. He got to get in.
Yeah, I was second guess Amari for Dwight.
Yeah, he got to get in.
Amari had a nice career. I don't know, man.
Did Dwight get an MVP?
Maybe the finals year.
He definitely got a defensive player.
Okay, multiple.
Yeah, he got a couple different.
Okay,
that year they win in Orlando. He might have got MVP that year.
I think he got a. Did he get a league MVP? Something like that. Okay.
Man, but Marc Gasol, I'm looking like.
That's what I said.
That's another one. I'm like.
Where did he win?
It's the last 2 for me. It's Mark and Amari because
Mark didn't win.
Marc Gasol didn't win.
No. Powell did.
Yeah.
With the Lakers. Remember, Mark had his stint with the Grizzlies
the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Amari, does he get in?
I think he does. Body of work, because I'd rather he get in before Steve Nash with all them MVP.
Come on, bro.
I just don't.
2-time MVP.
I don't care for the body of work.
The only thing Nash ain't done is won a championship.
That's right.
And you prefer to put Amari? See, that's what I mean when you get mad at somebody, man.
Yeah. Because like him, and even Marion deserved a certain degree of the credit. And he was trash. Marion was horrible. He was all hustle. You know what I'm saying? So
all right. So Ro, you okay with Dwight getting in?
So and I'm okay with Dwight too.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I
think he got to get in.
Well, I forgot that he was chippy with Kobe.
Yeah.
I forgot he was chippy with Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
he got one in the bubble. He was on the bubble team too.
And he led the league in blocks 5 times.
He dominated.
That's
his Orlando run as good as anybody's, other than not getting a chip.
Yeah, Beetlejuice go hard, man.
Yeah. All right. We do. I think everybody agree Carmelo gets in. Did everything but a championship, right? Gold medals, college championship.
Just a hooper, period.
Yeah.
He can go. Yeah, Carmelo goes.
Now the question becomes between Marc Gasol and Amari Stoudemire. I don't think either one should get in.
Probably not.
I don't think either one should get in.
Probably not.
I think Amari's closer than Gasol because those Phoenix runs were historic.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Even a little bit of work in New York, you know what I'm saying, was decent.
Yeah.
But the Phoenix runs was game changing.
And that's what'll get him in if he gets in. Is the Phoenix run.
The Phoenix runs got that bum them MVPs. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's like, man. But for being the captain, the skipper on that ship, nah, you don't go. You don't get no traction. You had a bunch of fancy assists and you was a watery poor man's John Stockton. You know what I'm saying? Like real watery. I mean, you know what? He had some finishers for a small guy. I can appreciate a small little dude that can finish the way they be doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because he wasn't fearless. He do that annoying shit. He dribble it all down the baseline, dribble out the other way, out the other way.
Pistol Pete shit.
Yo, man, it's like, say, man, miss me with this old soccer antics.
This guy says
Steve Nash.
a watery
John
John Stockton. Can you explain to the audience what you mean about
big
water?
Like stand on that.
I don't know, man. I think you be hating on him. All right, man. That's wild, man. A watery John Stockton, man. I think I get the thumbs up on that. All right. Let's do one more. Then we do a shout out. I gotta ask this question. It's not a popular question, but since we talking about the Phoenix Suns, who goes on that Mount Rushmore for the greatest Phoenix Suns players?
Shit,
that team, like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire,
I stand corrected, my friend. We're gonna say Kevin Johnson,
Kevin KJ, thank you, and Barkley.
Barkley got to go on there.
Barkley's on. I'll even throw Thunder Dan on there for that run.
You might can put Dan on there.
I might put Thunder Dan Marley on there on that run. I put Oliver Miller on there. I put a couple people. Tell my Phoenix. What's the other kid?
Definitely Barkley and
what
Kevin
about
Thank you.
What about Ceballos?
Cedric?
He was a decent little three.
Honorable mention.
He was a decent three.
And that's my point. You have to consider those 90s teams, the ones that faced Jordan.
Yeah.
You talk about KJ, you talk about Barkley. I don't have a problem with Marley being
KJ was a problem.
He was.
KJ was a problem.
Was very underrated as a
problem.
Player.
For real.
If my man didn't have a drug problem, Richard
Dumas. Richard Dumas was a truth.
And it's hard because they don't have that much of a rich history as the Phoenix Suns.
Because you can't really put that on Big Shot Bob's books.
Nah.
He classic. He threw that towel
and that's the funny part.
That was
a lot of people forgot that Ori went over there.
Yeah.
We traded Barkley for him.
Ori,
Sam Cassell went over there.
Oh, we lost. We parted with a lot for that fool, man.
Yeah.
I guess it was after that finals appearance.
Yeah. KJ, Barkley.
I put Starberry in there if I put Nash in there. Please stop mentioning Steve Nash. I can't do it.
Okay, well, if you put Starberry in there, then I could throw Jason Kidd in there.
And I throw Penny in there too. I'm glad you reminded me.
No, Penny.
Yo, we got point guards galore. There's a rich
Penny's career in Phoenix. Don't you dare.
There's a rich point guard lineage out there in Phoenix, out there in the desert.
Yeah. Man. At one time they had Nash, Kidd, and they had who was the other point guard they had? M. Starberry.
All at the same time, on the same team.
Yeah.
Penny might have been on that team too. I think he was. I'm just saying.
Then we might as well put my man that had the high socks out there on the team. Elliott. I can't
Sean Elliott.
Elliott, the little lefty dude, man, with the high socks. The little busy bee dude, man. Elliott, something like that. Yeah, Elliott Perry. That's what it was. Yeah. And then Wesley Person, Chuck Person, little brother was out there, man.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah.
Wayman Tisdale.
Hey, now that buck could go though. Wayman could go lightweight. True.
He played
true. Yeah, wait, rest his soul. Did he pass too?
Yeah, he passed.
Okay, but he had work, man. Like Oklahoma, that boy had work. Left hand, that nasty lefty work. He was out undersized. Did Rodney Rogers play out there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of his career was Denver though.
I like Rodney Rogers too, man.
Yeah, that's the in shape Zion right there.
Yeah.
Rodney Rogers.
Facts.
Yeah.
With a better jumper. You sure right. Yeah. You sure right.
All right, man. Let's do our shout outs and get out of here, man.
I feel like Zion in shape could be Sean Kemp. Zion in shape could be.
I'm leaning more towards Rodney Rogers or Antonio Mendice.
I feel like Zion way more offensive than both of them.
But I'd go as far as to even say like a 76ers Barkley. Like Barkley for the 76ers. Because it's like I just can't see a Zion even in shape in a smaller frame, more vicious frame. So it's like
I'd be more inclined to go with the 76ers Barkley. Because Kemp was in shape, man.
Kemp was
at the Seattle Kemp was a specimen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until Zion showed me that.
The lockout was the worst.
I can see the athleticism.
That's all.
Yeah,
Zion ain't showed it yet.
Yeah.
But if he could trim down,
jumping like that. Yeah.
He knocked off 30.
How long was McDyess in Phoenix?
But that was the bulk of his career. That in Denver.
Yeah,
That's when he was at the height of his
Denver
power.
was most of his shit.
Yeah.
Denver was super.
That's when he was dunking
fighting.
on everything.
He was fighting Dream out there in Denver. Denver had Dream had to
Yeah.
slap him around a little bit.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's give our shout outs, man. Shout out to the new WBA lightweight champion, which is 135 pounds. For all you Tanko maniacs. Where's Jason? I've been sending so much stuff in the chat about Tank. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tank Davis, man. He got his fight on March the 1st, fight Lamont Roach. But shout out to my man Keyshawn. He just won the new WBA lightweight champion at 135 pounds. He beat Dennis Berenjik, who was holding that WBO. Keyshawn has joined the elite company. Within the first 14 fights, he's won a title. And so this was in New York. It actually wasn't in his hometown. So shout out to Keyshawn. Now, right now, at 135, all the belts go. Keyshawn with the WBO, Lomachenko with the IBF, my man Shakur with the WBC, and good old Tanky Tank with the WBA. And so Keyshawn and I already said it on the interview today. I'm tired of calling him out. I can't make him fight. Y'all tell Tank when he want to come fight me. So shout out to Keyshawn for getting the world title within his first 14 fights. Shout out to Matt McClung for winning another NBA dunk contest. Now check this out, man. His career earnings is $132K. His dunk contest earnings is $310K. Wild.
That's crazy.
Wild. And I guess y'all convinced me, man. I thought he was like 6'4", 6'5", but I get it now. It's just like he's 6'2", man. He's 6'2", and that's why he's not getting called up to the NBA. So, but shout out to him for making more money in the dunk contest than he did just the regular. Yeah. So I mean, I still think that's bad, but hey, get it how you get it. They paid me $310. I go out there too. I don't need a team. So shout out to my man and Bro, you got any shout outs? Chuck, you got any shout outs, man?
Yeah, shout out to Steve Nash, man. You broke it, now they paying for it.
Oh man, no, I got no shout outs, man. Shout out to Prize Picks. No, I will give a shout out to have y'all tapped into the Unrivaled?
I heard about it.
Is that a 3-on-3 or the 1-on-1? The
1-on-3.
So the 1-on-1 was like a part of it. I think that was kind of like
that's with the females, right?
That 1-on-1 is tough.
Now they need to bring that to the NBA.
You know what I was just thinking? Y'all replace the in-season tournament with something like that. You get you another little sub 3-man team.
All-Star game.
Yeah. Man. Or make
it a bracket to come out with,
or just make it a part of our Saturday All-Star night.
Yeah, but shout out to Unrivaled because them 303 games. I like how they doing it. It ain't quite Big 3 style, right? They not half court. They on a shorter full court.
They own the something. Yeah, they own the something.
So I think it's kind of dope. And
old Stewart and Collier, man, they own the something, man. With that one, they got backing. That's going to be a big thing.
And I just want to add to that. Shout out. Because here we go with the Caden and Clark, Angel Reese. They've been doing their thing. But with the Unrivaled, as well as did y'all see my girl get her signature shoe?
Yes, sir. I was going to shout her out too. Because the shoe hard too.
She was clean.
Yeah, the shoe was shout out to Asia. You know what I'm saying? The shoe was hard.
She was clean.
Thank you. And shout out to my man Bam if he, I listen, man, that chick is bad to me. But anyway. Shout out to my man Bam. Her and Bam supposed to be dating.
Yeah, they are.
If you're going to get you an Amazon, get you one like that.
Not a bad place to start.
Not a bad place to start. But shout out to my man Cole, man. Cole, we missed you tonight, man. We'll check you out the next time. I think that's it, Chuck, man. We got everything else. Had a pretty good, solid show, man. So it is what it is. Shout out DWB episode 3, season 4. Shout out to everybody who checked us out. Shout out to moserious.com. Make sure you go in there, check out the merch, check out all the other things we got going on, especially with our other podcasts and everybody else in the Most Serious family. Shout out to my man Chuck for always making it happen. Shout out to Ro for another fire episode. And DWB, we out, and we'll see y'all the next time.
Debate with Bake. Season 4. Let's go. Ah. with Bake, Debate with Bake. Season 4, let's go, let's go. Here we go, Debate with Bake Sports Show. Season 4, live at Mo City Radio. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We just giving opinions, supporting it with proof. Let's look at the stats, cause numbers tell the truth. It ain't no hating, we just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Shout out the Prize Picks for the daily fantasy. Invest a few dollars, let's do some gambling. C-Bake got the topics and he keep it cracking. Laro got the commentary and he never lacking. Cole with the game, he live from the Big Apple. You know, Mo Serious Entertainment made it happen. Another sports show, we live from the Mo. Debate with Bake, season 4, let's go.